Hello gang, TCG here with another Blackbeard aka Marshall Teach video. Today we will check some ranked matches that I played and analyze them as well. This is the deck list. We have discussed about this deck list in another video. So without further ado, let's go to the matches. So we'll start against really popular leader, Purple Luffy, and let's see how this goes. So he chooses to go second. Most of the time when you play against other leaders, they might choose to go second in order to disrupt your turn and your 10-turn play with Blackbeard. So we have in our first hand our dog, we have our searcher, we have the Jesus, so it's a pretty decent hand, and I'm going to play Lafitte for one turn as I go first, and then he plays his low and draws a Sangoro. On our second turn, it's always the question if we want to get rid of everything that he plays here. So first I'm gonna attack him with 5. I also analyzed Purple Luffy in other videos, and as Purple Luffy, you know that you really can't afford losing many cards or life. So every attack against Purple Luffy matters. Then we will search with Lafitte, and we will grab, of course, another dog that enables us or that allows us to use one dog to KO his Trafalgar Law and also give him a target. And if he decides to attack our dog, then we will take a card and then we can play another dog. But he decides here to play something else to kill my Lafitte, my searcher. And now he played his Sangoro here in that turn. So now we can get rid of this. We could get rid of this Sangoro if we had some removals, some reducers. So we use our searcher. We search, and I decide here. Okay, my hand is not looking that good. So I can get rid of his Sangoro by doing -2/-2 with my 2 strongers, and we also can recycle our hand that way by using Stronger's ability. And I do that. I use the first stronger, I use the second stronger. Now his Sangoro is at -4. Then we kill him with our dog. And finally we attach our 2 dons to our leader and attack him with 7. He's at 3 life, and next turn he would love to play his combo, but he knows that I will not allow him to do that, so he takes that life. And then of course we draw 1 card, because now it's his turn to start using his combo, because now he's at 7 don. We have 1 removal, so we get rid of our dog, because we have another one on our field. He's now at 7 don, but he can't use any on-play abilities, so he plays another Sangoro, and with the 2 remaining dons that he has, he attacks me with 5, and then he keeps these 2 remaining dons here. I take this life because I need cards, and we are pretty healthy. We are still pretty healthy here. And now we have our Laboon. We can use our Laboon to KO his Sansi, so we do a -4. We use our dog. And then we have 3 3 remaining dons, and now we have a choice to use our Lafitte and search, and that's what we're doing here. So we search with our Lafitte and we grab Van Angur and attach the remaining don to our leader and attack him with 6. So he has 9 cards. That should be pretty easy for him to counter. So he give us a 2k. This is fine with me. I use my leader ability then to black hole him, because remember guys, when you are against Purple Luffy from his 7 don and upwards, you don't want to let them use any on-play abilities. So you black hole them all the time. If you forget to do it once, you might just lose, because Purple Luffy has so many great on-play characters. So he attacks me with 8k to Laboon. Of course I will let him have it, but he leaves my dog untouched on the field. So now we are at 9 don. We use our Laboon to -4 to his kid and get rid of that. We're pretty good here because we have a board. As you can see, we have managed to establish a board with Laboon, with Jesus, with our Lafitte, which we will use now to search and grab our 10 cost tits. We have our dog, and if he decides to kill our dog, we will also get a free card from KO, and we can also attack with our leader. So we decide here to attack with our leader, and of course afterwards we trust one card to black hole him. I decide to trust my blocker as I'm still healthy here. I have 4 life. I don't care about him attacking my life here. Our Jesus is also at plus 3k, so an 8k body, really strong if you ask me. And now he has to deal with a almost full board, so 4 characters, and also play something. So he decides to attack our Laboon here. Of course I will let him have it. I don't have anything else to play here. And then he plays, he doesn't play, he plays 2 characters, so one Camacho and one Born Claim. Now the thing is, and why I pause it here to analyze it together with you guys. Here you have 2 choices. Let me draw the card first and then I will show you what I mean. So we draw a Sigan and you have now 2 choices. The first choice is to play your tits, freeze one of these characters and attack him with Jesus and your leader. But the thing is here that he played Camacho. That means that if he plays next turn a character that allows him to do minus don, then Camacho can also get rid of Lafitte for free. And of course, what you will manage to do by attacking him now would be maximum 1 life damage, because the other hit would be with 5k and he could easily counter that. And if we do that, then he has 2 bodies and he can establish more bodies. So I was like here, okay, you know what, I will take my chances. I will clear the board. So I used the two events that I have in my hand to kill both of these characters. I used one don to search a card with Lafitte. Now my Jesus is at plus 4k, which is really strong if you ask me. I grabbed another Tits, but the thing is here, I don't want him to be able to use any on-play ability, so I will teach one of these 2 teaches. And he has 2 life. So that is for me okay. If you have 2 life, then let's see what he's doing here. So he counters that, I think. He counters the first one. Let's see. Yes, he counters the 5k. And then I attach my Don, my second Don to Jesus. And the reason is because I see here that he doesn't have any open Dons to use Gum Giant. So I was like, okay, you know what? I will steal a card from you by attacking you with Tits, and then I will attack you with 10k. Without Gum Giant, he should give me his whole hand to defend that, and of course he doesn't. Now I did want it, black hole him. I have a 9k body, I have my Lafitte here, I have my dog, and I have my Tits waiting, and of course my leader. He decides here to not attack my Burgess rather than my Lafitte, and the reason is that he should invest at least 4 Don if he wanted to attack my Jesus. So this card is that strong, guys. It's that strong. So he wanted to play big body here, even if the on play doesn't matter, and he attacked my Lafitte. So next, of course, I play my Tits. I nullify his leader. I freeze his Luffy. I attack with my leader. Then I trust the card. Remember to trust the card in order to have more cards in your trust. My Jesus has 10k. Of course, he uses here his Gum Giant. He's now at 9k, 11k. Okay, he did that. But now he's down on only 5 cards, including the card that he just drew. He's at 1 life, and he doesn't have any active characters. And if he wants to clear to kill my Jesus, then he should attach 5 Don to his leader. So that would leave him with 5 Don to play here. Of course, he attaches all of his Don to my Jesus, to his leader to kill my Jesus. Yeah, he can do that. He leaves 1 Don for his Gum Giant, but I don't care. I attack him with my Tits, and then I attach all of my Dons to my leader and attack him like that. So now he used his Gum Giant to try to defend that with the cards that he drew, but but unfortunately for him, he didn't draw many counters, so he couldn't do anything about that. Let's go to our second game against Smoker this time. Smoker is also a deck that appears often in the locals, and I also might say in bigger tournaments like regionals. So the chance to go against a Smoker is pretty big. So let's see what we did here again. So so our opponent chose to go second. So we go first. We draw 1 Don, and we have in our first hand our dog, our Laboon. If I see this combo, it's for me. Okay, I keep. And of course, I had also my This Is My Era. Great card to play on your first Don. I grab my Van Ager. He's now at 2 Don. He decides to do nothing, and now we are at 3. So we play our dog, we play our Lafitte, and I was like, okay, you have some cards at 4 Don with on play, then I will black hole you. So I black hole him, and of course he wanted to play here a Rebecca and something from his hand, maybe a Brook or something like that, but we blocked that with our black hole, and that's how strong this leader is. So we're now at 5 Don, and we're still pretty healthy here. I was like, okay, you know what? I will establish some bodies here. So I played my Van Angur. I don't need to search on that turn. Then I attacked him with my leader and I black hole him again. We're still healthy. We're at 5 life. He's now his 6th turn. He played his TCG without any effect because again we black hole him. He attaches 1 Dawn on his leader, and because of dog he has +1k, and he can he decides to KO or Lafitte with his TCG, because TCG is activate main. Don't forget that it's not on play, it's activate main, the second thing that TCG has. And then he decides to attack our Van Agur. We defend that. It's hard for us now with only 2 cards, and like the problem here is that if you don't have a Laboon on the field and the opponent has a 5-cost character, with only Van Agur you can't do much. Because Van Agur does only a -3. So I had here there were 2 things to do here. The first one, so 2 choices. The first choice would be to play Laboon -4 and then kill the opponent with dog, or play Van Agur, which establishes let's say stronger body, 5/6, -3. And don't forget, there's also another difference. If you play Laboon here, then he will probably kill your Laboon on the next turn and nothing will happen. But if you play your Van Agur instead of Laboon to KO his TCG, Van Agur has on KO draw a card, so that will give you some cards here. So what I do here is that I attach 2 Dons, attack him, I play my Van Agur, I do a -3, and then KO that with my dog, and trust my last card, to black hole him. He's now at 8 ton, but he can't do anything. He can't play anything that is on play, and no matter which card he decides to attack here, we will draw a card for free. Dog and Van Agur, both of these cards have on KO drawer card, which is awesome if you ask me. And we are still really healthy with 6 cards. So he attacks our Van Agur, we draw here 1 card from Van Agur, we draw another card from our turn. We are at 9 Dawn, we don't have any teats yet, and he played a Jack. Jack has 7 cost +4, 11 cost is really hard for us to get rid of. But the great thing here is that he's at 3 life, we are at 5 life. So we have some air, let's say. So we have some turns that we can do something here. What I decide here to do is, because I also see that he has 7 cards and we are at 9 Dawn, and I was like, okay, so I will attack you with 6 to see what you will do. And he takes. To be honest with you, I wasn't expect that for him to take only with 6, and I was like, okay, so if you took that, I will attack you with 7 to see what happens, and he takes. I was like, okay, you took 2 life, maybe he's highly bricked here. And I played a big body, which is Jack, and black hole here. So he's now that he's 10 Dawn with many cards in his hand. He has like 100 cards, so 3, 6, 9, 10 cards. So he starts by Ice Age, so double Ice Age, -6. and then he activates main on his jack to get rid of my jack. After that, let's see. After that, he attacks my Van Agur. I draw a card from Van Agur, and then he plays a jack to get rid also of my dog. So with this turn, he managed to clear my board completely, but from the dog and the Van Agur, I also drew 2 cards, which is also a really strong, something really strong from this deck. And I was like, okay, so you, with that play, I think that these guys really bricked here. So I was like, okay, you have only 1 life. I will make you take this life, and I will make you establish some blockers, because without any blockers you will lose, and I am at 5 life. So I forced him to take his last life here, and then I was like, okay, he attacks me with 7, he attacks me with jack, he attacks me with the other jack, and of course until now I haven't seen any tits, and this is the first time that I see one. I was like, okay, now I'm at 2 life. He has only 2 cards with which he can attack me, and his leader. So I was like, okay, let's think about it. Now we are at 10 turn. We have 2 life. We are still healthy, so he can't kill us yet, and we can start establishing some characters, beginning with Tits, of course. So at that point, I play my Tits. I freeze one of his jacks. Of course, I attacked with my leader here to make him, to force him give me a card, and he does. And then I played my Tits, nullify, freeze, and now don't forget that Blackbeard has many ways. This leader has many ways to get rid of characters, to KO characters. And 4 cost for Blackbeard is not that hard to KO to begin with. So I was like, okay, I don't have any removal in my hand yet, but I hope that I will draw at least one from the life or from the card that I will draw next turn. So I draw a stronger from the first hit that I take here. I was like, okay, give me 1 more hit. And the second card is also not removal, but the card that I draw afterwards is a Seagun. And as you can see, I use the Seagun here to get rid of one of his Rebeccas. Then I attacked with 11 with my leader, and then 12 with Marcel Tits. And as you can see, he had only 1, 2, 3, 5k, so he couldn't do anything here. Okay, this hand wasn't that, let's say, that bricky, but he couldn't do something against 2 big swings. And let me tell you that if he could counter before that the two swings that I did, he should have done that, because as you can see, in a moment like that, when you are up against Blackbeard that has a huge body on the field like Marcel Tits, you can't do much. And Blackbeard, no matter how many blockers you have, he can probably get rid of them. And don't forget, we also play Liberation, which is this card, and that means that if the opponent plays a card that cannot be KO'd by effects, this card nullifies that and KOs the card. So let's go to our last game for today, which is against Doffy. So he chooses to go We choose to go second because we win the dice. Our first hand was crap, so I mulligan here, and the second hand is much better, I must say, because when I see a dog, I'm always happy. So he plays here his Sengoku. I'm a 2-don. I was like, okay, now it's time for me to play my dog, and this is what I do. And I was like, okay, now I either kill your Sengoku, but I then force you to attack my dog, and I didn't have anything else at that moment to KO of things. And I decided not to. So I was like in my head, okay, you know what? Worst case scenario, you bounce dog back to my hand, which is not that bad for me. And as you can see here, this is exactly what this Doffy does. So he attacks me with 7. He plays Jimby into low, and then he do his tricks to bounce back his Jimby and also my dog Q. And this is why when you play against Doffy, it might be a good idea to start black holing him after the first turn. I know it's like super early. It's super early, and you lose cards like crazy if you start trashing cards from your second turn. But this is the perfect example what a Doffy can do on his second turn, guys. This is his second turn. So of course I take the first hit, and then he does his trick with low to bounce back his Jimby, to bounce back my dog, and now I'm at 4-don. He has 3 bodies. He has get rid of one of my life, and I was like, okay, now what? I have a liberation here, but let me tell you what, liberation is not always a good choice here. As I mentioned that also in previous videos, you should always try to establish a board and use the events as your last resort here, because you also need bodies. You don't want to counter, or only to counter with your cards, or trust them for your leader's ability. Speaking of which, of course, we trust one card to black hole him for the next turn and attack him. He takes, and that tells me that he needs cards. He don't want to get starved yet. And now we have a body, we have a Laboon, we have a dog in our hand. He knows that, and then he starts by attacking us with 5. And I was like, okay, I know that you will attack me with more than 5. So I was like, I will counter the 5 and see what will come on the next turn. So he plays a crocodile, black hole. He plays a vanilla crocodile because he doesn't have the on play effect, and I take the next hit. I'm still healthy at 3 cards. Now I use Laboon to do a -4 to the crocodile, kill him with dog, and now I attacked him. He's low with 5, and the reason why was, okay, I want a card from your hand first, and then I used my liberation to kill his low. So I desperately try here to starve him, let's say. And I have forgotten to to put my camera here, so I brought that at that moment. So let's go on the game. he attacks our dog with his Sengoku. We don't do anything here, but we managed to draw a card by doing so. Then he plays his Jimby, a vanilla Jimby, because he's black hold and he has 3 more dawns. He attaches 2, attacks our Laboon, and this is the moment where we counter, because I know that we are short on cards, but we need this Laboon. We want to have some baddies here. We are at 8 and we still need 1 more round before we can start playing our TCGs. Now we kill 1 character of his and then we establish our board. We keep building. We are 3 cards, so it's no problem for us. So on our next turn we can play Ortiz. So in that moment we can attack him with our Laboon. We're not afraid to lose him. We want him to give us some cards, and also we want him to kill 1 of our cards just to establish our trust, or to make our trust bigger. And this is exactly what he does. He destroys our Laboon. We keep building our trust here, and now we have a Doffy with he attacks us with 5k because he knows we have 1 card, and he thinks, okay, this 1 card is probably a Martial Defeats. So he doesn't need to invest any dons, let's say. We draw a Jack and we are at 2 life. He attacks us with his Tits. We take because we don't have any counter, and then he keeps playing characters, which is nice. That's the right thing to do against Blackbeard. You need to establish as many characters as you can. Of course, for us it's not the best thing, but now what we need to do is try to, before we establish our Blackbeard here, we need to control the board. This is really important here, because you know what, we still got 1 life left, but if we play here our Tits, and then let's say that we kill one of his or both of his characters, on the next turn he will still have 2 characters left and his leader. On the other hand, we can also play our Lafitte, we can play our dog, we can play our Jack, and establish a board and keep the Tits for later on, let's say later on. What I decided to do here is, let's see, okay, first I black hole him to make my trust bigger and to be sure that I did that. And now I play the dog to get rid of his Perona. I don't want him to bounce that back or to do something else. And then I was like, okay, you know what? I will use my 7 Dawn to kill your crocodile. So Laboon -4, Zack, get rid of crocodile. Then I killed his Tits with my leader, 7k, a 5-3, excuse me, and then I attached the remaining dawns to my Jesus birds and attacked his Zimby. What I did here is I was like, okay, you know what? Instead of playing 1 card, so my Martial Defeats, and leave him with 2 bodies, at least 2 bodies, and his leader attack, I thought, okay, you know what? it's better for me to clear the whole board, because he could have here, for example, also the perfume, and make me, for example, take the last life with his other two characters, and then perfume remaining dons and take the game. So I was like, it's always better to clear the board with Blackbeard. It's not always the best thing to do here. Is not always just play your teats. So he attacks me with 1k, and then plays a Mihawk, and we draw two teats here from our last life and also the first. So what I do here is, I was like, okay, he has 4 life. That's more than I can probably handle. So I was like, okay, if you have perfume, you win here, but if you don't, then you probably lose. So I freeze his Mihawk, nullify his leader, and then attack with all of my characters and leader. And what he does here is he counters 1, then I attack him with Blackbeard. He counters the other one, and now it's the moment that I know for a fact that he does not have a perfume. But if I don't attack any further, he will attach all of his dons to his leader. He will attack me, I will have to counter, and then I'm at the same spot. So I was like, okay, I will take 2 life of yours with Jesus and Jack. If no one of these cards, or the card that you will draw, is a perfume, then you have lost, my friend. And as a matter of fact, he has 3 cards. What he does here is he attaches all the don to his leader, because his Mihawk can't attack because of my 10 cost teats. Of course, I block it with my teats here. And on the next turn, I was like, okay, now I will just attack you with 9, and then again with 9, and then and as you can see, this life here, this life was a perfume. This life, the second life. So you also need some luck when you play against Dofy. You also need some luck when you're at a point like this. So yeah, then I attached everything to my leader, and I won the game. As you can see, he has only 1 key counter, so that's it. But as you can see, if the perfume was the 3rd life and not the 2nd life, then he could have won the game. So a matchup against Dofy is that close. It's not always in favor of Blackbeard. It's not always in favor of Dofy. I think it's a pretty balanced match, but you really have to play your cards well in order to be able to win against Blue Doffy. So that was it for today, guys. Thank you all for watching. Drop a like, drop some comments, let me know what I do, what I'm doing correctly, let me know what I'm doing wrong here, what would you change in my setup, what would you do differently. You can also write me some messages, what leaders or what decks would you like me to cover. Next, I'm also gonna create an in-depth guide for Shanks, and also for the rest of the meta leaders like red purple Luffy, black purple Luffy, also Doffy is coming, and so on. And I will also do some off meta leaders just for fun, but you can also come against such decks in the locals, or you can also play yourself such a deck. That's it for today. Thank you all for watching. Peace. Bye.